Hello, my name is Ayushe Sharman with your weekly news and views bulletin. First, the headlines. Justin Trudeau has been facing tough questions in his town hall tour thus far. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence visited Air Force Technology Incubator in Las Vegas and a nearby Nellis Air Force Base. U.S. President Donald Trump addressed his first cabinet meeting of 2018. A new report by the World Bank projects an increase in India's economy. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with 40 economists to discuss the road ahead. Spiritual leader Dalai Lama frowned upon Bhima and Koregaon violence in Pune. South Korea's President Moon Jae-in has credited U.S. President Donald Trump for the inner Korean talks. The largest operation of the last 23 years against Italy's most infamous mafia groups, Ndrangheta, has resulted in the arrest of over 150 members. World Hindi Day was celebrated across the world, including in the neighboring country Nepal, a special report from ANI. In his six-stop town hall tour, Justin Trudeau has been thus far greeted with hecklers and tough questions. In Nova Scotia on Tuesday, Justin Trudeau got questioned about government's payout to Omar Khadr and his own ethical violations.
I was just curious how you feel about being the first Prime Minister ever found guilty of a federal crime.
As you can see, we thoroughly vetted the questions before showing up tonight. Sorry, I'm going to have to ask more. What crime is that?
Well, right, okay, so, well, there's the ethics commissioner who said that you going to the Aga Khan Island on the helicopter was actually deemed to be a federal crime. Now, I've read that you said that he was a longtime family friend of yours, which is great. If he is, that's great, except that if he is a longtime family friend of yours since you've known since you were a kid, you're probably not supposed to be giving money to his foundation. And if he is a lobbyist and you are giving money to his foundation, you probably shouldn't take bribes from him.
Okay. I think I got enough to work with on that question. First of all, there's a level in which this shows that our system works. We have an ethics commissioner who is there to ensure that parliamentarians, all elected officials, including the Prime Minister, follow the rules and make sure that they're exercising the responsibilities to serve their country in the right way, in a responsible way. And what we saw through this situation was that even though, yes, I consider him to be, and he is a longtime family friend, the Ethics Commissioner, quite rightly, points out that there should be a higher bar for friendship for someone with the position and the responsibilities of the Prime Minister.
At McMaster University, Prime Minister was heckled twice, once again over Omar Khadr's settlement and respect for Indigenous communities.
I just have a question. Why does it take so long to fax papers? And why do you think it's okay to give $10.5 million to a person that killed a soldier?
Okay. The question on fax machines, I don't know, fax machines have always been slow. That's why we have email now. But the question on Omar Khadr is an important one. You seem like you're pretty upset about the payment made to Omar Khadr, and you should be. And you should be. You have every right to be. Actually, everyone here should be upset, because I am, that we paid money that could have gone to schools, could have gone to investing in any number of worthy causes, or absolutely, more money for veterans. But we have to remember that there is a lesson here for us, for all of us, and for future governments, that when a government violates any Canadian's fundamental rights, and allows them to be tortured, there are consequences, and we all must pay. So I want you to stay angry. I want all of you to stay angry, to make sure that no government in the future did as governments of the past did.
In London, Ontario, a woman in the crowd shouted about free speech and the security threat posed by Canadians who left to join ISIS and are now returning home. She also expressed her disagreement with M103, the motion passed in the House of Commons that called on federal politicians to condemn Islamophobia.
Other viewpoints out there, even if ultimately I choose not to.
That's right, and that's why it's so important to have free speech, isn't it?
Yes,
it's so important to have free speech. My father was a soldier at Normandy. For democracy, it is free speech. You have no right to bring in M103.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you to respect the people in this room. Now, we're in a dialogue right here. Okay, now, I'll let you, I'm going to let you.
That's right, I am a man. I am a man. I am a suffragette. Do you know that this year is the 100th anniversary of women voting federally here? And what are you doing? You're bringing ISIS?
Vice President Mike Pence offered prayers and a pep talk Thursday to military service members during a visit to an Air Force technology incubator in Las Vegas and a brief speech at nearby Nellis Air Force Base. Pence drew applause when he said that under Trump, the era of armed force budget cuts is over. Pence noted that Air Force's role in fights against what he called radical Islamic terrorism has been noteworthy, and assured that United States is going to have firm stance against the ongoing threats of North Korea.
Rogue regimes seek to threaten our people and endanger our allies. The menace of radical Islamic terrorism continues to rear its ugly head. And adversaries new and old have arisen to challenge American leadership on the world stage. In these dangerous times, it's you, the men and women of the armed forces, warfighters, tacticians, and trainers of Nellis Air Force Base, who must continue to push the boundaries of American strength and who will be called upon to defend our freedom from any who would threaten it. And today, let me assure you, President Donald Trump has your back. In fact, I believe when the history books are written, they'll show that President Trump was the best friend the armed forces of the United States have ever had.
President Trump addressed his first cabinet meeting of 2018 on Wednesday. He spoke of his administration's accomplishments thus far while renewing his call for change in federal libel law. Trump said people who are subjected to false accusations should have meaningful recourse in federal courts.
Good morning and welcome to our first cabinet meeting of the new year. 2017 was a year of tremendous achievement. Monumental achievement, actually. I don't think any administration has done what we've done and what we've accomplished in its first year, which isn't quite finished yet. You never know what's going to happen over the next few days. And the achievements for our country, our people, and for our standing in the world have been very monumental. We confirmed an incredible new Supreme Court justice and more circuit court judges in our first year than any administration in the history of our country. And we have many more coming. We've set a new record on reducing regulation and all forms of stopping growth and stopping jobs that were crippling America's economy. Again, the records that we set, 22-1, nobody's ever come close.
Great news for India. The 2018 Global Economic Prospect released by the World Bank projects India's GDP growth to pick up to 7.3% in 2018 and 2019 and to 7.5% for the next 2 years. The overall economic growth for 2017 was at 6.7%, despite initial setbacks from demonetization and introduction of the goods and services tax. India's economy is predicted to be a few notches better than China and way ahead of other major economies for the next 3 years. Ayhan Kos, the author of the World Bank report, gave a big thumbs up to India's government and said India has an ambitious government undertaking comprehensive reforms. Economist K.K. Mittal also credited the current government for the economic growth.
See, World Bank has projected GDP growth of 7.3% for the financial year, fiscal year 2018-19. And they are of the view that there would be acceleration in GDP growth because of various steps and measures taken by the Indian government. Now, say for example, GST. GST is a major reform. It's a one tax substituting several tax, which will improve the flow of goods, movement of goods, logistics, and tax collections is going to improve. Pilferages are going to be addressed. So when the pilferage are going to be addressed and removed from the system, then tax collections of the governments are expected to improve, and which would be utilized for betterment of the country, for productive purposes, for creating infrastructure in the society, for creating more opportunities on health, on education, on infrastructure like roads, which is a major thrust of the government, port, which is another thrust, and defense manufacturing. So I think these are the few areas where we will see a lot of upticks in the next year. As well as we are going to see that government is going to address the issues of the farmers, the productivity of farms, the productivity of labor, the productivity of crop, and boosting rural income and rural demand, which is going to be the major thrust area we are going to see in budget as well. There are all possibilities because our economy is coming out from slowdown, disruptions, from reforms, and government was very well aware that there would be temporary hiccups, slowdown in the economy, and then there are going to be an acceleration. Now we are in the acceleration phase, and China is going to be stagnant and deaccelerated. So on that basis, World Bank has said that we may move faster than China, and there are possibilities because we are coming out of from the slowdown of economy, and because of certain measures, steps taken by the government, our growth going to be accelerated.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi met over 40 economists and experts to brainstorm on the state of economy. The interactive session was organized by Niti Aayog and was themed Economic Policy, the Road Ahead. The participants expressed their views on various sectors ranging from the rural development to urban development. Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar told the media after the meeting that the employment was one of the key subjects discussed during the meeting. Spiritual leader Dalai Lama spoke against Pune's Bhima Koregaon violence and said that people should not mobilize against any religion. He also said that religion is a personal business. On January 1st, violence had erupted on the 200th anniversary of the Battle of Koregaon, the incident which claimed one life.
Last week, in this very city of Pune, two communities, one of them being those who converted to Buddhism, they involved in clashes. So what is your message to both the communities for?
Religion is personal business. Whether you follow this religion or that religion, it's personal matter. We should not mobilize or group or we Buddhist, we Hindu, we Muslim. That's not good. Ask doctors any benefit for our health. No doctors say anger is good. Other hand, more compassionate mind, now doctors say very good for our health. So not talking, not thinking next life or God, simply our well-being. That is we call analytical meditation. Analyze.
South Korean President Moon Jae-in has credited U.S. President Donald Trump for helping spark first inter-Korean talks in more than 2 years. President Moon Jae-in said the talks are a result of U.S.-led sanctions and pressures on North Korea. President Trump told the South Korean leader that he is open to talking with North Korea and there will be no military action while the talks are going on. During a full-day negotiations, the North pledged to send a large delegation to next month's Winter Olympics in the South, but refused to discuss its nuclear and missile programs, agreeing to save the military talks for the future. In the largest operation of the last 23 years against Italy's most infamous mafia groups, 'Ndrangheta, authorities in Italy and Germany have since Monday evening arrested 170 people affiliated with the criminal organization's Ferrao Marincola clan. Over 1,000 carabinieri have taken part in arresting 157 suspects, while 13 were arrested by authorities in Germany. The clan exported wine, cheese, and oil to restaurants in Germany and had absolute control over the exports of ingredients of pizza like flour mix. The Carabinieri seized more than 50 million euros in assets. World Hindi Day is celebrated on January 10 every year, marking the anniversary of First World Hindi Conference in 1975. Special events were organized all over the world by non-Indian residents and people of Indian origin to celebrate Hindi language all over the world. Neighboring country Nepal was one of the countries to partake in the festivities. Special report from ANI.
The Indian Embassy in Nepal marked World Hindi Day with much enthusiasm and fanfare in Kathmandu on Wednesday. Nepal's Tourism and Civil Aviation Minister Jitendra Narayan Dev said, Hindi binds the people of India and Nepal.
So far, I understand that Hindi is the treasure of knowledge, not only for the Indian subcontinent, but for the whole mankind around the world. I am sure Hindi is strengthening and promoting the cultural ties between India and Nepal. It unites India and Nepal together. It is a common binding factor between people of the two nations, Nepal and India.
To mark the occasion, eminent poets of Nepal and India recited poems. Indian Ambassador Manjeet Singh Puri presented a video message of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the occasion.
लोगों के बीच में जो संबंध है वो सबसे ज़्यादा तेज़ है और उसमें भाषा जो हम लोग एक दूसरे के साथ बोलते हैं, जिस तरह एक दूसरे के साथ आलमेल है, जो हमारी रोटी बेटी का जो संबंध है, उसमें भाषा तो बिल्कुल जिसको कहते हैं इंटेग्रल है उसके बीच में, और इसमें हिंदी से ज़्यादा कोई चीज़ हो नहीं सकती। ठीक है, यहाँ नेपाल में मैथिली, भोजपुरी, अवधी सब बोली जाती है, लेकिन हिंदी की अपनी ही एक परिभाषा है, एक किस्म की जैसे पैन इंडियन स्थिति है वैसे ही यहाँ पैन नेपाल है।
The Hindi language, which is the mother tongue for over 77,000 people in Nepal, as per the 2011 national census, is dominantly used in the nation. That has helped to facilitate the communication with neighboring countries.
Those were your top news stories from the week. I am Ayushe Sharman. Keep watching Take TV.